Consistency in procedures not only breed efficiency in performing tasks, but can save the company time and money when the task is performed correctly the first time. Sean McCain. You have the power to be the boss of your own life. I'm your host, Monica Allen. I'm a wife, mom, entrepreneur, best-selling author, lifelong learner, and your biz bestie. I have a love and passion for all things small business. Growing my own company from $700 to over 7 figures annually, my goal is to bring you inspiration, business-focused topics and tips, encouragement, and a community that helps you launch, grow, and scale your business, whether you are a dreamer, a side hustler, or a seasoned entrepreneur. You are listening to the Become Your Own Boss podcast. Today's episode is being brought to you by Zeus's Closet, where we're like a tattoo shop for your clothes. Right now, you can save 15% on our small business package, which includes 3 polo shirts and 2 button-down shirts with your business logo. Business logo setup is completely free. As conference season is in full swing, you want to make sure you are branded when you go out to meetings, conferences, or networking events. So see the show notes to get the link for the small business package and enter BOSS15 at checkout to save. One of the things I love about interviewing entrepreneurs is they often share valuable insights around their business from startup to present. They share their successes, challenges, wins, struggles, and so much more. I love the vulnerability and their candor. But there are some things that are absolutely fun about being an entrepreneur or business owner, especially if you're a creative and you get to be creative in your work, or like myself, you enjoy strategy. I love the strategy of growing a business. That type of stuff really excites me. But sometimes there are parts that aren't that exciting. However, they can make a huge impact on your business. On today's episode, I want to talk about something that Tamisha and I talked about briefly in episode 170, and that is setting up SOPs, or standard operating procedures. Oftentimes, when we initially start our business, we are simply trying to make some money and figure things out ourselves. However, as our company begins to mature and we find consistent ways that we're doing things, it is important that we document these things. When Ethan and I initially started our first business, Stuff for Greeks, we were focused on getting customers to shop with us. We had a big vision for a company that started with just a small transaction for some flyers. When we hired our first team member, I can remember Ethan trained him in all of a couple of days, and that was that. But as time progressed and we needed to add someone else to the team, we found that in order to create consistency across the board on how orders were handled and how items were produced, we needed to establish some guidelines. And that is really what standards of operating procedures do for your business. They are the way we do an action each and every time. I liken it to be like the Big Mac. The Big Mac is made the same way each and every time in each and every McDonald's, with 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. Everyone who makes this burger at McDonald's knows this. They cannot leave off the special sauce. Let me give you another example. When it was only Ethan and I answering the phone, it was very easy to know what to say and to present our company in a very specific way. After all, we would have our late night dinners and we discuss how we're going to handle things. It was very straightforward and easy. However, once we hired our first person, we were not able to let her wing it on the phone. We weren't about to do that. We typed up a script for answering the phone. We also typed up the procedures for handling new orders when they came through online, and how proofs were to be completed and handled once they were approved. Having procedures like this documented will not only help your team members and make their lives easier, but it also makes it very clear as far as job expectations go. And you can easily see if things aren't being done correctly or at all. Note that as your company grows, procedures will, can, and often must change. That being said, your SOPs will need to be updated and revised. If you're a one-person show, you may be thinking, I don't need to document what I do. But I would implore you to take some time in the next quarter to document what you do. This will help you determine what you want to delegate as your business grows. Remember, you will not be able to do it all. If you want to grow and scale your business, you will need help. The best way to help your help is to give them very clear procedures as to what to do when it comes to their job. So it's never too early to start doing this. Put more concisely, there are 6 benefits, in my opinion, of SOPs. The first is it enhances consistency and quality. Second, it helps you in training new employees. Third, it helps you comply with industry regulations and standards if you're in a field that requires that. Fourth, it increases efficiency and productivity. Just like the quote said at the beginning of this episode, if you only do it once and you do it correctly the first time, you save time and money. Fifth, it provides clarity in roles and responsibilities. That's for everybody within the business. And lastly, it will facilitate business growth and scalability. So now you may be asking, how do you begin to set up your SOPs? And I am more than happy to help you with this because, again, I think it's really important that you get this done. Initially, you can keep it very simple. Use a Word document or a Google document. Now, I love Google because it is in the cloud and they can be worked on by multiple people at the same time. You can work on it from anywhere. A few years ago, we actually moved our SOPs off of our Google Docs, but it had been on Google Docs for a very, very long time. And we implemented something called Trainual. Trainual. It's like manual, but training put together. Not only did it allow us to store all of our standard operating procedures by each department, but it also allowed us to create quizzes for each team member to take. If you were in that department, you didn't have to take the quizzes for every department, but you took the quiz specifically for your department, and this ensures that they reviewed and understand the information around each process. Now, some people use workflow software like Trello. We use Trello for some other things, but this is also a great way to set up your SOPs. And if you don't want to do that, you can also find templates for SOPs online. But right now, I'm just going to give you some simple steps to take to get your SOPs started. And again, you can just put it in a Word document. The first thing you want to do is create a title for each task or for each responsibility. So for example, in our company, we have one around taking orders over the phone. We have one around shipping and receiving. We also have an SOP around creating proofs. Another thing I love about Trainual is that now we've actually embedded videos, so we can do Loom videos that actually show you how to create a task. So you want to do your title, and then once you have that title, you want to list out responsibilities and roles within that title. Underneath that, you're going to detail out that role step by step. Number them 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way down until the task is complete. If there are any safety precautions that need to be added in there, you can do that as well. For example, in our embroidery department, we often note, do not put your fingers under a moving needle. We have to put this in writing because sometimes people think, I've even done it myself, you think you can reach under it really quickly and just move a little string or a little piece of thread, but that needle moves so fast that you will get stuck. And yes, that has happened to me back in the day. So you want to put those in there as well. You can list out the necessary tools, equipment, software, and you can also include related documents, which I kind of mentioned this with our Loom videos. We can put those in there as well. We can reference links if we need someone to go out and look at a YouTube video for something, but it gives us opportunities to put that in the SOP as well. And then lastly, you want to always note that you made a revision or the date that you made a revision, because that way you can know, oh, we haven't looked at this in 3 months, or we haven't looked at this in 2 years. It's time for us to revisit this. So those are some simple ways to start off your standard of operating procedures for your company. And if you have any questions on this, feel free. You can reach out to me on Instagram. There's also a way to leave a message here. If you scroll down to the bottom of the show notes, you can click through and leave a message. And I would love to hear from you around how the SOPs are coming, or if you just have questions about it, I'm more than happy to help, because I promise you this will help you grow your business and help you start thinking outside of just yourself, especially if you're a solopreneur. I will say the positive thing is if you're a solopreneur and you're just now getting started on this, you don't really have to worry about it so much as far as resistance to change. If you have a team already and you haven't already established this, there can be some resistance around changing and actually utilizing the standards of operating procedures. But I would say also, if you have a team, help them get started documenting their job. Because truthfully, people leave jobs. And if you already have this information documented, then it's easier to move someone into a role. So just keep those things in mind as you move forward in creating your standards of operating procedures for your business, or SOPs as they're also known. Thank you so much for listening today. Again, if you have any questions on getting started on your SOPs, feel free to reach out to me at Become Your Own Boss Podcast on Instagram. You can also follow me there if you don't already. One more request, or actually a few more requests. One, take a moment to rate, review, share the podcast, and also go over and sign up for the Become Your Own Boss community. If you're not already a part of that, you can do it at monicaallen.com, or you can see the link in the show notes. I will be bringing you a new and exciting interview next week, so make sure that you don't miss next week's episode. And remember, now is the time. Now is the time to level up, leave a legacy, and become your own boss.